Is it sustainable to think in the way of having to convert and bring back? And if you look at the Lemba, they don't even want to convert. They said, why are we converting to something we're already part of? So it's really important now to bring in the writings of our sages, because we have a consensus for about 3,000 years passed on that everyone agrees on what will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens. What will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens? What will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens?
The point being, around the world, this prophecy started unfolding before our eyes. The awakening and the return of Israel. It's the awakening and the return of Israel. The awakening and the return of Israel. Because it says in the days of Messiah, so now we go through the prophets here, and we get to the book of Ezekiel in 36 and 37, the dead bones of Israel come back to life. And in 36 and 37, it says, in the days of the Messiah returns, both sticks, Judah and Ephraim, are joined in his hand. So then we get to the New Testament, and it talks about the Jews and the Gentiles, but those Gentiles were returning Israel. Read Peter's address. He says to the dispersed of Israel, or to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and James says the same. So this story of the Bible, guys, there was no change of the law at the middle day. It was a continuation of the story of restoration.
On right now is what I call the Great Awakening. And what is a Great Awakening? It's realizing that we've been lied to quite a bit when it comes to a certain state and a certain group of people from the Middle East, even though they're not really from the Middle East, if you know what I'm saying. This situation is getting mainstream attention. A topic that typically would get you banned everywhere is now exploding, absolutely exploding in awareness.
Because, I mean, we was the only people that was looking for a family. We was the only people that was looking for to be a part of somebody's family, to be wanted. I don't care how you look at it. If you are Negro, you felt this loneliness before your awakening. And the people that we ran with was, pretty much us, our family, Negroes. That once we started to wake up, you was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Wake up! Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Waking up the people of the Most High. Got the knowledge to destroy the lies. DNA, history, open eyes. Walk into the darkness and turn on the lights. Wake up, 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 wake up.
A lot of people are waking up now.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
Like yourself, Doctor, I'm a seeker of truth.
Can I say something? I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know. But I bet you what? I know how to find the answer, and I will find the answer. Is that fair enough?
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew.
And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on to Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh. That came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night.
Father God is fighting this battle for us. We're being driven by him, by his justice, by his vengeance and his recompense. Yes, it's real. Believe that. The fishers and the hunters have been released. And as one of those fishers, allow me to announce in our native, in our primary language, Baruch Haba Beshem Yahweh, blessed be he who comes in the name of the Lord. Thank you.
Type of conversations that we have to continue to have. If you guys want to have this conversation with me, let's have this conversation. Let's talk about it. We can talk about the 12 tribes of Israel, who are the chosen people. Let's talk about it.
My whole family, we all Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
About that Yabarecha Yahweh, that Ishmerecha. That's a prayer. It's called the Aaron blessings, So a Haran Baruch. So it's the blessings from Aaron that he did over the people of Yisrael. So I believe that I am, in fact, a Hebrew Israelite.
The Bible has said 400 years it said people would be in a country that you would be strangers in for 400 years, and this is 401. 1619. That's when slavery started, 1619. So here we are in 2020, and all this going on. I happen to be like, I feel like this is ordained, you know what I mean? I think it's the fulfillment of a prophecy.
How do you break that down to me, G?
I just said I'll come to the realization, saying some years back, that who we call African Americans here in this country is the descendants of the biblical Hebrew Israelites.
I love the Israelite community, man. I believe they dope. Got a lot of dope insight, a lot of things that people that's not Israelites can learn from.
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being the descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the... Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, Egyptians descended from Ham. 600 years later, my brothers, read up. Moses was born in...
Just growing up, my uncle was a Hebrew Israelite. He passed away. I looked up to him a lot, you know what I'm saying? It just, the little bit I know about it, so I just feel like that's our true religion, you know what I'm saying? Our people are Israelites. That's what I believe,
Although they attracted star supporters like Stevie Wonder, the community remained in official limbo for decades.
I love you. Goes out to those that choose to use disrespectful views or original Jews. The chosen people of God be slandered and abused in the streets and the news by the season that food. The synagogues and Satan want to keep us confused.
Some people told me that the Negro is the tribe of Judah and everything from the Bible. But as I dissected these things, and shout out to who believe in what they believe in.
This is gonna piss people off, but it's my belief. It's what my ancestry believes, and it's what Rosses believe. 12 tribes of Judah, Hebrew Israelites, are what we know today as black people in America, are descendants from those tribes. And reading Exodus and how it talks about when you will be taken into captivity and scattered amongst the land, you'll forget my name, you're gonna have oppressors, and you're gonna be taught their traditions, you're gonna do all their stuff, and you're not gonna have yours anymore. If you look at every religion,
Black people is the real Jews.
Because now I've educated myself and I understand who I am, biblically, like spiritually, the true Israelite.
And when you do your real true research about the Hebrews and the Jews and the Israelites and all that, you find out that they look a lot like us sitting in this room right now.
Hey, I'm an Israelite. Shalom, my keys. Whichever one you prefer. I know y'all probably looking at me like, oh, is that the actor dude? The dude from the movies, the blue dude who, we get these people who say they're awake. We have to come together as one. And this is not some just money scheme or some whatever. No, this is time. Kwam Yasharal, Israel. Kwam Yasharal. Kwam Yasharal. I love you. Shalom. And may the Most High be with you.
I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more.
Children of Israel are black people. Why is it such a problem to speak the truth? It became a problem for us because of the propaganda machine. But it's more of a problem for them. They've taken our birthright. They don't want us to be them. They don't want us to be us.
People, you gotta realize, the first Jews were black.
Jews.
Yes.
Not the Israelites.
Jews.
The
Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews. Jews were black.
Right. Wow.
My mother was like, her and her husband was like, hey, we're from the diaspora. We lost connection during the transatlantic slave trade, so we have to reconnect back with the laws of Moses.
My land!
Whitney and Bobby were in Israel this spring to visit a group called the Black Hebrews in the city of Dimona.
Black people not knowing who they are. The reason we struggle as black people is because we don't know who we are.
Say that.
And so, I mean, if you want to be quite frank about it, white people know who we are.
Yeah, well, you're talking about a myriad of leaders. You're not just talking about a single individual.
Right.
And I see a lot of people just be sitting back waiting on a Messiah. They're waiting on that one person.
But they are too, though.
Who's that?
The other side is far more diligent about looking for that Messiah than we are, because they know where to look. You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer's over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand. It's a brand.
Wait, what happened to her nose? What happened to her nose? Why is her nose cut off?
We added recently a new offline stone.
Did it fall off, Chad?
Everyone ask me when you just come in here, why Sphinx is without nose? It's famous from Egypt and some countries. Who broke a nose? The history of man Maqrizi from Islamic era. Write inside his book and say, a man his name Sa'im al-Dahr do this. But why? Why Sa'im al-Dahr do this? Because he won't be proof. For some people, it is just a statue, just stone, not God. For this, he just broke a nose and say, he can't protect himself. What he do? He just a stone.
Oh, so you're trying to prove that the statue is not a god?
Not a god.
So he broke the nose. Whoa, look at that.
Yes, this is the
Is that real?
Ramses II statue. Okay.
What?
This is a perfect team from the New Kingdom area. Okay. 18 dynasty. Okay.
That looks insane.
Tall like 11 meters, and its weight is 83 tons.
83 tons.
Yes, from granite stone.
That is insane.
You see the curves on this? It's very hard.
Wait, I wanna. Wait, you should zoom in on the.
Babe, I need the picture right there.
You should zoom in right there.
Take care of the water because a lot of people fall in the water. Okay.
That's crazy, y'all. The dude.
Yeah.
Wait, he don't have a nose neither? No. Why is his nose? Wait. Chef. Wait, I have a question. Why is his nose gone?
We have two reasons. The first one, because the erosion factors. This is the weakness point of the statue. Because the erosion factors, it's broken the nose. And maybe the second reason, because any king after this king tried to broke his nose to be the strongest one.
Oh. So just the ego thing, huh?
Yes. Take care, you don't fall into the water.
Everything we were told was a lie. It's buried deep in all our memories, in our identity. They lied to us.
It's time they know the truth about us.
Welcome to Berean Scholar channel. I want to welcome everybody who's here today.
We have a great one today, and this is part of the Great Awakening series. If you watch the clips ahead, we have some special guests. I put this the faces back on the screen, guys. People are talking. People are talking. People want to know where we come from. And tonight, I have some guests on with me who's going to help us talk about that question. I'm bringing to the stage right now Pastor Kelly Richardson and Bishop William Brown. Pastor Kelly Richardson from Passion for Reconciliation in Virginia. Pastor Bishop Brown from Boone Ministry in Atlanta. So, Pastor, are you there? Are y'all there?
Yeah, Shalom. What's going on?
Shalom, brother. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Doing well. Thank you. I'm glad. I am honored that you're here, and we're gonna get a chance to talk about some of the things, some of the groundwork you guys laid in this awakening.
Oh yes, awesome. Thanks for having us on, and look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, I think Pastor Kelly was stepping out. He said he was going to pick up another hard drive, so he'll be back in with us. But I hope you've seen some of the clips that I showed a little while ago. People are talking, and they're talking now more than they've done ever. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think it's definitely a conversation that's being had all over, and there's a lot of people that are discussing it. And I think that we're in a time now that's even more than ever in the conversation, even more so than when we were first started and first came into really teaching and before kind of the internet thing blew up in Facebook Live and all that stuff like that. So yeah, it's a great opportunity and great time.
Brother Pastor Richard to just come back on. Pastor Richard, how you doing, brother?
We say peace and blessings to you guys. Peace and blessings to my cousin Bishop Brown in the building. The hot right now person. Kind of hot right now.
Bounce back.
You know, but shout outs to you guys.
Well, I was talking to Bishop Brown about the videos, clips I was showing how many people are now talking about this awakening and who we are as people. I think a couple of weeks ago, I brought some stats up. We're going to start off by discussing these stats. We'll see. Can you see them on the screen?
Yep.
I'm make them larger. This is a study from, if you can see over here, this is a study from UC Davis. What are the myths and facts about Hebrew Israelites? And now some of their stats are mainly towards what we'll call the camps. But these studies show that 4% of African Americans identify as Hebrew Israelites. However, these studies have a margin of error of 3.6%, saying that they might be a bit more than that. Now, I saw that, so wow, that's pretty low. So I kept looking, and I found this other study at Manhattan Institute. Again, you see what group they're targeting, and they're using this term, Black Hebrew Israelites. How many are the Black Hebrew Israelite? But I found their findings interesting. Right here, it said they studied. They did a survey out of 1,075 Black Americans, 555 non-Black Americans, and roughly found 26% of Black population and 14% of non-Black population positively professed to believe that the modern American Blacks are descendants from ancient Israelites. That's roughly 9% of the, and this is another part of their finding. 9% of the people they surveyed confess of being Israelite themselves. And 3% of the non-Black confess following Israelites' beliefs. People are talking. But I thought it's interesting, and we're going to talk about it today. I have not been interviewed. Have you been interviewed?
No, I mean, I haven't been interviewed. And so I think those numbers are based upon a small sample size. I think there's even more out here, that doesn't even include probably if they would talk to even some people in the Christian church. that probably even has some form of identifier as being an Israelite. So yeah, I think those numbers are pretty skewed. But I haven't been interviewed.
Pastor Kelly?
Yeah, and to Bishop's point, with statistics, you can make statistics, you can dictate the output of it based on what you place into it. So statistics could be very manipulative, especially when you're trying to keep a number down. I know for sure those numbers are far higher. Bishop Brown can attest as well. It's far higher than that. And some of those articles that you posted, those are old articles, like one of the ones that you posted.
One was done in 2023, and one was done they're both done in 2023. I think I can bring it up to date.
Yeah, because one of those articles was connected to a situation that occurred up in DC. But again, as Bishop Brown pointed out, the focus is on the camps. You know what I mean? But this awakening is much larger than what their statistics are showing, because we see it as impacting right across the board, from beauty products, foods and things like that. You see a major shift. You see entrepreneurship is increasing again within our community, similar to back in the 60s, because at that time they were making their own clothing. And we see a lot of those things happening again due to the circumstances that we're in today.
And the reason I brought this up today, because you guys I consider you guys to be some of the forerunners of this awakening. I know when myself came into this awakening, I'm a recovering pastor myself. And when I came out and stepped out of being in ministry and stepped down and resigned and came into this awakening, some of the things I was hearing, I heard from finding you guys online. And then getting to know Pastor Richardson and, hearing some of the things you guys was doing, man, y'all put in the work of helping our people be educated on who we are as Israelites. And this is what we want to talk about tonight. That foundational work that you guys, how did y'all come together? How did this start? I'll let you start, Mr. Brown.
Well, I think that our relationship started was we were introduced to each other by a sister that we both knew, and then from there we became friends. We talked on the phone, found out about the commonalities and different things like that, and us as Israelites. And then from there we kind of continued to build a relationship. And then Pastor Kelly was really, he's always trying to educate and help people. And there was I think a post that either he posted or something like that, and was might have been a pastor or friend. He could correct me on that. I definitely think he was Caucasian, I think, and there was some other pastors as well. And so he was on there, and at that time I wasn't pastoring at all. I was just doing a lot of evangelism work and things like that. And I saw that, people was kind of gang up on him a little bit. And, I jumped in the fight, and we both, got to throwing hands socially on social media. And then from there, that drew us even more closer. And then we end up getting into some things as far as becoming, voices out here. And we was challenged about our, DNA and getting DNA. And then we find out we're related, through DNA and those type of things. And that even brought us even more closer. So it's been several years since we've been running. That wasn't a yesterday story. That's been quite some time. And so I'm appreciative, and kind of the same thing with Benet as well. Through DNA, we find out he's on my other side and of the family, and he the one told me. But I'm just thankful that the Most High was able to bring he and I together in a time such as this, and this is kind of how things got started as far as our relationship before we started going on the road.
Wow, that's Kelly.
Absolutely, he hit it on the nail. And the situation was, if you remember, because I got invited to go out and speak at the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I had posted, encouraging pastors to go out there. At that time, I was still connected in certain circles, and I was encouraging them to go out there, use that as an opportunity to cast your net, because there's going to be a lot of young people asking questions. And so with that, many of my so-called pastor friends at that time began to post a lot of crazy, ugly comments on my comment section. Those that refer to themselves as prophets, they were posting some really nasty stuff, saying that I support. Yeah, they were saying that I support the homosexual agenda and all that other stuff because of accepting an invitation, going out there. And so, yeah, it was a lot. And the person that introduced us, how it came about, she was like, "Hey, there's somebody that's out there, and y'all sound just alike." You know what I mean? She was like, "Y'all doing the same thing. Y'all sound the same. Y'all sound like y'all, just alike." And so she put me on, and she was able to give the number, get the number from him, and gave it to me, and we called, and we connected ever since. And he got to see that, like we share, it wasn't like where I am today is where I was when we really started connecting, 12 years ago. It wasn't the same, even though teaching identity and all that, but we wasn't honoring Shabbat. We weren't doing certain things, but we were still standing for the community. We were being challenged because of, even though we, certain things I was still needed to transition, but that was the Most High's doing. But we were still putting in the work. So as Bishop pointed out, we began to, he began to, flew him up. Well, he flew himself because he was in with the airlines and everything, but invited him to come to the ministry, to speak at the ministry. And I think some of that is online, but when he was doing the Kemet and things like that. But that's how we really came together, because we were already doing the same thing in different areas. But then when we started speaking, it was just like we knew each other. You know what I mean? It wasn't one of those things like it was standoffish. It was genuine. And the traveling, going up and down, doing those type of things, that just came as we were getting demands from people saying, "Hey, we don't have this in our area. We'd love to have someone to come out here, but we just don't have it out here." And this is not throwing any slights to camps or anything like that, but many people weren't connecting with that, especially knowing the foundation that we had. So that's how it began to trigger those things of us going up and down the coast and going to different places, just trying to introduce to the awakening, more than what we've at that time were doing. It was very isolated.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because you mentioned that both of you are ministers, pastors of your own assemblies, men who know what leadership is about, and also went through the training to be pastors. But when you met, you weren't where you are now, because what we have today, a lot of people are coming into this awakening without formal training, and a lot of people are coming to this awakening that came out of those institutions. And I think I think you said it before, Pastor, one of the hardest things to get rid of is those institutions. We've been institutionalized so much. so what is the transition that you've seen from what you guys coming out of those situations that you started off in and coming into this awakening?
Well, I think what we witnessed, one of the hard things that we observed, and we did, I was trying to find some of the old videos when we were sitting in the, when we was in the sanctuary, with put my glass that's in the front of the sanctuary, had the television behind us, but we was dealing with the very things of the name. You know, a lot of people were in shackle because a lot of the doctrine that was floating around was, if you don't know the true name, then you're going to hell, and all those type of things. And so those are some of the things that conversations that really helped us, for us establish what was needed. Some of the things that was foundational things that was needed. You know, people feeling like, if almost like in the church, if you don't speak in tongues, you know what I mean, then you don't have the Holy Spirit. It was kind of like the name was like, if you don't know the name, then you don't have the Holy Spirit. You don't know and don't understand what holiness is. And those are some of the things that Bishop and myself would not compromise with. It's like, hey, look, pastored all that stuff while I was in Christianity, did the whole seminary thing while I was in Christianity. You know, certain things are just not going to change, right? When it comes to basic foundation and approaching the text, approaching each other.
Yeah, I think that too, you know, being able to, because again, at the time I wasn't pastoring. Boom was not even, Believers One Messiah was not even a thought. Like it just, at that time, you know, I was just really doing just evangelism and apologetic work online and things like that. But Pastor Kelly was already an established pastor, had been for a couple of years. So I was able to have an advantage of being able to watch him through his process of going from not keeping Shabbat to transitioning, you know, his whole congregation, and which took some time, and he lost people and things like that. So, and also just being able to be in and watch the process of it. So it also, when I became, when I started, get ready to start Boom, which was birthed out of us traveling on the road, I was able to see the patience and the things that he had with transitioning, and it also helped me to be able to. So whenever, you know, I was called to start, you know, Boom, that it helped me, and that's one of the main foundations of our ministry, is to help those that are transitioning, to be patient with them, whether I've helped pastors, Christian pastors, transition their congregations. I've even helped many that are transitioning. We have people from the Catholic Church, we have people from the Christian Church, we got people from Kemet, we got people from 5%ers, we got people from other, you know, Israelite camps, and being patient with them through the transition. But I was able to also be able to see how that, you know, what that takes place, what framework that was, because when we started, and when we met, actually, it was rare. Like there was no framework for pretty much like for us as non-campers per se. And so we had to do this on the fly. Like we had to learn a lot of things we learned on the fly because there was no frame of reference to be able to look at and glean from. And so that really helped me. And then once I got started, because I'm gonna tell you, like, it was a difficult thing for me. The person that I am, I'm not a person caught up in titles and things like that. Cuz helped me deal with earlier on. I'm sure you remember, I didn't want to be called pastor. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't. I was just used to just being majors, and he had to talk to me about the importance of, like, don't, you know, because if you don't embrace that, or if you don't train them to, it can become disrespectful and later on down the road. And I see, especially, you know, now, even with being consecrated by Israelites as a bishop, not Christians, but Israelites as a bishop, that was even a difficult transition. But I've learned to embrace it because it was something that the people, they emphasize more so than me creating the title and self-appointing myself. It came from the people, so I was able to embrace that more. But again, like I say, it was a lot to be able to really glean from him and see the process and the patience of those things. Yep.
Man, and both of y'all saying that coming into this thing, there was no blueprint. and most people that y'all can say it's either camp or nothing. But I love this that you show, both of you have shown that when you came in, you didn't have everything right yourself. It was a process too, because there's people on this live right now might saying that, you know, yeah, I know I don't know the name, or I don't know about the Sabbath or all that stuff. I don't even know the holy days, but the process and you went up and down the coast teaching that process.
Yeah. Cuz I know you wanna chime in. We can kind of go back and forth, I guess.
That's Richard.
Yeah, it was like and I would say it was a lot of lessons learned, but many people just don't understand the magnitude of the work that we've put in because of the sacrifices, right? We sacrificed a lot. I mean, our families, I mean, many nights where, falling asleep at the keyboard, you know what I mean? Bishop Brown sounded like a zombie, you know what I mean? Being so drained. I mean, but all jokes aside, putting in the work, just really putting in the work, not because we were looking for monies and accolades. We just wanted to we saw a need, and we were willing to push forth that need. But then at the same time, as Bishop pointed out, wanting to make sure that people understood we don't have to completely let go of everything. You know what I mean? We know that, okay, number of issues with Christianity. We already know that. Right. But you don't have to throw away everything, because there were some things that we learned there, some disciplines that we learned there. And that was one of the things that many was, I would say it was challenging for them to deal with. Bishop would tell you, I wore my suits, because one of the lessons learned, and Bishop would tell you, when I started wearing the dashikis to certain places, the level of respect wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. They started having a certain type of approach and how they would greet us. So remember, I think we did to Georgia, the conference, and it was like the first night, it was like, okay, I saw how people were, were too lax, so to speak, in terms of how they would interact with us. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna put a suit on tomorrow. You know what I mean? And didn't have to tell the people, but just them seeing with the suit on, it kind of helped set the tone moving forward on how they were going to address us. And the Black Lives Matter, what was that? Because that was about 2 or 3 years after we started doing certain things, and that opportunity presented itself because there was other opportunities that presented itself, but we had other things going on, and I just focused on what we were going on doing, because I got asked, if you remember, guys, to speak to like 30,000 people here in Richmond. Yeah, wow. Doing the same thing, but we had a conference that we had scheduled, and for me, the conference was more important than doing that, because it was the first time that actually it was the second one we did, the second James 1 and 1 that we did down, and this time was down in Florida, and it was like that was to me more important because it was establishing foundational things.
James 1 and 1.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, cuz can wear them suits. Hey, look, man. Just me, nah, bro. Like, that's still a struggle to this day, even with putting on suits. I didn't even wear no culture attire. I was in like tees and jeans and Air Force Ones, and that was my.
See, that was our good cop, bad cop.
You were from around the way. You were from around the way.
I was the good cop, right? And he was the bad cop. But in many cases, they didn't realize that I had a fight too. Right?
But no, that fit him. That was it was good because it gave multiple dynamics, and then too also the environment was made up of different people from different backgrounds. So it wasn't like it was always some street folks. It was some people that maybe, had a street life. And then you had some folks that was conservative too. So both of us being able to come, that's not something that we're trying to do. That's just our kind of our our identity, you know, in a way, kind of the way we are as two brothers, you know, just, you know, that's not something that he put on as trying to, I'm gonna do this to get people attention. No, that's the way he is. That's his background, his profession, and things like that. Me, you know, that wasn't me. So, but it worked. The Most High used it so that way it would be able to work with the type of environment that we were going in, and those were the type of people that brought us together. And I listen, though, back then, there are times where I miss you know, those days, because back then the Israelite community was more pure.
Yeah.
It was more exciting to be Israel. Like we any of our gatherings that we had, whether it was in Virginia, Jacksonville, on the road, I mean, we had Israelites coming from everywhere because of the fact that you know, nobody from our side that we know were doing gatherings like that. All right.
Wow.
Of course, you had camps out there and things like that. They were doing their thing on the street corner, but we're talking about gatherings. We had people open the doors to us from the Christian community. We had people. We was in libraries. We were wherever, you know, people opened the doors. Well, we had a Jewish Christian pastor. He opened up the door in Jacksonville, big old church. I mean, big, you know, things like that. And it was just some beautiful things. It wasn't no arguing about what name you using. It wasn't arguing about what you believe in, the rotating Shabbat. Do you believe in this, that, all the wrong calendars? Like, it wasn't none of that, because it was just about the purity of being an Israelite and meeting other people,
knowing who you are.
It was a powerful thing. And so you know, I missed the pure days. And then from that, those platforms where you had 200-300 people, it birthed other people being known out here. Some of your famous people and the Israelite in the social media world right now, they spoke on those platforms. I can run the list down from white guys to black guys to sisters. We talking about speaking on those platforms. Even some of the Israelite artists, because at that time there was really no lane for Hebrew Israelite rappers. We gave platforms to that. Hebrew Israelite clothing lines, we gave platforms to that. Hebrew Israelites, they had whether they had some type of news media channel or something like that, those were platforms that we gave to that. And guess what? We didn't charge a dime.
Come on.
Yeah.
Zero. Matter of fact, we had several people hitting us up, was like, hey, I want to get my clothing line on this particular panel. Well, we reserved, because we had a brother that was really close to us who had a quality clothing line. We said, since you're rocking with us, we're going to make you the exclusive clothing line. Nobody else would be able to come and set up a table for that. Now, we had other vendors for other things, but when it came to clothing line, guess what? Come to every doggone conference we had, he sold out. If you had material, a product that came to our conference, the vendors were free. The artist was free. The speakers were free. The venue, we took care of the venue and made sure that Israelites can come and be a part of this 3-day event, no charge, no admission, no nothing. Everything that we did, me and my cousin, everything that we did, traveling up and down the road, renting out venues, whether there was whatever it was free for Israel. And that's something that I feel as though people don't understand. They think we just popped up. We just didn't pop up. Of course, our root was grassroots.
Right.
We weren't thinking about YouTube and other things like that. We were more focused on Facebook, which was the area where we got the word out, where we would be in what city. And then that was pretty much it. Other than that, hey man, we pretty much the Most High really he baruched us as well for the work that we've done. And again, what you see now is the hard work. The channel that you see, but we want now the growth of that was because of hard work. That was seeds that was deposited earlier on. And the result of that, the Most High blessed cuz with a channel that he have. what you see now with Boone with multiple congregations,
multiple congregations in multiple places,
because of seeds planted.
Hallelujah.
So from us right now is the Most High baruching and blessing us for the earlier seeds we put in by depositing into people. All right.
Wow. But Bishop, you said, and Pastor Kelly said, it started right around that time where Pastor Kelly did that speech, and then somebody put y'all together, right? And most people,
it was before that. It was well before the speech.
Yeah,
before the speech. But most people, you show that speech on the first part of your program most of the time. But a lot of people haven't seen the whole speech, so I'm gonna bring it up right now. You mind?
Oh, and before that too, and cuz to tell you, right? I didn't know what I was gonna do with the icebreaker. Remember that, cuz? I was like, man, and even that. Remember, you kept saying, "Do you know what you're gonna say? Do you know what you're gonna do?" And I was like, I just can't. I said, I know I need an icebreaker. It couldn't think of an icebreaker.
He's got some great words of wisdom
on the fly.
But so you didn't know what you're gonna say when you're gonna start this?
Well, as far as the as far as the notes, I put all that together at the last minute, you know.
Oh,
but
wow.
The actual icebreaker, I was telling cuz I didn't know what to do as icebreaker. I was like, I don't, you know, because you always need an icebreaker when you in those type of settings. And it was like, man, I just didn't know what, and it just happened on the fly.
And words is that, and how many people was there?
Oh, it was initially it was supposed to be 1,500 people, but on record it was almost 10,000 people.
Wow!
That marched from VCU all the way over to the school right here. So it was a lot of people, and I think I did record many of the footage and everything. I have a lot of the footage, raw footage of just that whole march. I can't even explain to you just how powerful it was, the impact of it. But but yeah, I'll go ahead and let you play. We could talk more.
Okay, and guys, for those who this is the speech he's talking about. Let's go for it.
So I want to do a simple call and response. And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese. China. Russian. Russia. Italian. Italy. German. Swedish, Korean, Egyptian, Nigerian, Black. I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue with this country, because you were able to properly identify with all the groups that I called out in the countries that associates with them. But when I said black, everyone had to look at each other and try to figure out what you was going to respond to and what countries or what nationalities is associated with that. So I want everyone to understand that that is the underlying problem. That's the underlying root to the issues that we're dealing with right now. Our issues go beyond abortion. It goes beyond drugs. It goes beyond alcohol. It goes beyond prostitution. It goes beyond the Bloods and the Crips, homosexuality, senseless deaths. It goes beyond all the different issues that we see. The issue that we're really dealing with is what? An identity. It's an identity issue that we're dealing with. Do you know the term black is simply a descriptor? It's an adjective that describes a noun. Black is not a nationality. Guess what? My car is black. My remote control is black. My television is black. My Xbox 360, guess what color it is? But my identity is not black. My identity, guess what? It's more than just being an African American. Why? Because when you use the term African American, it only tells you what continent I'm from. But it doesn't tell you what country, what nation, what tribe I descended from. The term Negro, black, colored, These are descriptors. These are bywords that were used as a derogative term, and now we have found a false sense of security within them. Researchers at Emory University found that an instance of animals passing on more specific information about traumatic experiences from their offsprings. That information came not through just merely communication socially, but through inheritance. The researchers, in an attempt to create a traumatic experience, they trained the mice to be afraid of the simple smell of what? Cherry blossom. Using electrical shocks, they discovered that the DNA from the sperm of the father and of the mother, the egg of the mother, guess what? Was altered traumatically through the experiences of those shock treatments. So I said all of that to say that this research answers the following questions. Why? Why, as a people, we have a natural sense of insecurity to authority? Why, as a group of people, do we resort to extreme measures when we chastising our own children? Why? Why does the dollar circulate only 4 hours in our communities? Why? Why are businesses owned and operated by non-black immigrants? They flourishing in our communities. Why is it hard for so many of us to relate to the Bible, relate to the church? Well, you know what it is? It is a false identity that was created and passed down genetically due to the traumatic experiences that came by way of the transatlantic slave trade. See, several countries and many religious systems benefited from this particular trade. Through these countries, our identity was taken away. They used a code system called the Black Code, or the Code Noir, in 1685. Through these systems, our language, our original language, which was Paleo-Hebrew, was taken from us. Our culture of worship was taken from us. Our families, which was called Zion, was taken from us. And our religious belief system and how to protect and preserve our identity, which we call the Torah, guess what? That was taken from us, and guess what? Repackaged and given back to us. And guess what? And now established an identity for us that's rooted deeply in slavery. Many of us are under this delusion, thinking that our history began in the 15th century. So the question is, who are we and what is our identity? The answer is all around us, and yet we cannot see it. We've been operating in this deep sleep. That is why we cannot see that the term Negro is a breadcrumb that can lead us back to our identity. Here's a few breadcrumbs in my closing. The Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says this about Negroes. It says, Ham, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and the Canaanites. Here's another breadcrumb about Negroes. Based off the research of over 750 craniums taken from the catacombs of Egypt, Dr. Samuel George Morton in 1844, in his literature Cranium Egyptica, page 66, he says this: Negroes were numerous in Egypt, but their social position in ancient times was the same that it is now, that of servants and slaves. On page 60 in that same document, he says it will follow up that upwards of 10 million of Negroes have been bought as bondsmen in Egypt. Another breadcrumb, the ancient map of Africa, 1710. You can find this on Princeton University website. You will see a territory that's called Negro Land. On that same map, northwest, south central Guinea, you will see what is called the Slave Coast, and you will see a slave port called by the name of Ouida. Well, what does Ouida mean? It means Judah. I'll say it again. Ouida means Judah. I encourage everyone to read Deuteronomy 28, and you will see everything we are going through is listed in this prophecy. Another breadcrumb. There is a historical landmark in Savannah, Georgia, by the name of First African Baptist Church, which was built in 1773 with the hands of slaves. The pews were made by slaves. Outside of the pews are markings written in the African dialect known as cursive Hebrew. They written with a language that was told that was non-existence at that time. So I'm here to tell you, regardless of your belief systems, regardless if you're Islam, regardless if you're Kemet, regardless if you're a Nubian, regardless if you're practicing Roman Catholicism or the 5%, regardless of what religions you are currently practicing, guess what? Our nationality is Israel. Our tribe is Judah. For all the pastors who chose not to come out here because of foolish ideologies, if we don't wake up, guess what? The Bible says the rocks will cry out. And I'm just going to read a quick scripture. Luke 19:40. It says that he, Yahshua HaMashiach, that is Jesus Christ, answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these shall hold their peace, in other words, keep quiet, it says the stones would immediately cry out. And so because the church leaders who chose to be silent and being truthful and properly teaching identity, the rocks are starting to cry out right now. And you know who those rocks are? It's all of you. You are the rocks. Because of the death of Freddie Gray, guess what? The rocks are crying out. Because of the death of Walter Scott, the rocks are crying out. Because of the death of Eric Harris, the rocks are crying out. Tamar Rice, the rocks are crying out. Tanisha Anderson, the rocks are crying out. John Crawford III, the rocks are crying out. Eric Gardner, the rocks are crying out. Trayvon Martin, the rocks are crying out. Amadou Diallo, the rocks are crying out. These rocks is every last one of you. And in my closing, I believe the solution that we're looking for does not lie solely in the hands of our judicial system. Even though slavery had ended, but our true identities were never openly recognized. Our history book, in which many of us avoid due to traumatic experiences of the past, called the Bible, gives us a simple solution. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people, guess what? It's referring to what? The children of Israel. If my people, which is all of you, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins. And here's the kicker, which we need in this land. It says, and I will heal their land. I will heal their land. So I want to say to you, I can say with proudness, I can say it with my head lifted up, that my identity is an African American who is a blood descendant of the nation of Israel, and out of that tribe of Judah. I am a proud Christian, a proud pastor who serves the Most High God. Shalom. Peace.
Wow. Pastor, I think the only thing you didn't do, what was it? All right, Pastor, I think the only thing you didn't do is hold the mic up and dropped it. Are you still there? Let's see, Pastor Kelly was still, I think we lost. There you go.
I'm still here. I may have to
you there, you there.
Back in because I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're here. We hear you. Like
Okay,
I said, that's the only thing you didn't do was the only thing you didn't do is hold the mic up and dropped it.
Yeah, guys, let me log out and log back in.
Okay, all right. All right, while he's doing that, Bishop, anything you want to add to that? You're still on mute.
No, it was powerful, man. I mean, I remember that. It was a powerful, powerful moment. And you could tell that, it always get me when he mentions black and how the response from that is, and you can hear somebody in the background chiming in, like, yes, finally somebody said something.
You're right. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him.
So that was definitely awesome. I know we talked about the gatherings and the truth tour. I do have some photos from that. If
you sure?
Yeah, I could share it if I have screen share options.
Yeah. Just share and bring them up. I'm sure the people would like to see them.
Let me see if I can do this. I haven't done it in okay, here we go. Let's see here. Let me try this one first.
All right. Coming up. All right,
Can
here
you
we
see
go.
that?
There we go.
All right. I'm just trying to see if everybody can see it. Might have to delay.
right
Okay, there it is. Okay, yeah. So on the
Make it
screen,
big.
huh?
There you go.
Okay, yeah. So you see here, this is. Let me go here. No, that's not it. This. Okay, so this is James 1 and 1. This was back in 2017, and that's one. Let me see here.
2017.
Yes, and there's another one in 20. So this run went on for. We were pretty much gone. If Cuz wasn't able to go, I was going. Pretty much almost every weekend I was, pretty much gone, traveling on the road.
Wow.
And so this is 2018. This was in Ohio on the tour. And you see, I wasn't Bishop, I wasn't William Brown. This was
Majors.
I was pastor, and I wasn't even, I started in 2018 when we established the ministry in 2018. But before that, I mean, we're talking about 2015 when the tour started, from probably like 2015 to 2018. This is another one. This is 2017. This was in North Carolina. We were
in my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Charlotte. Okay.
Charlotte, yeah. Let's see here. Some more. This was one that I went on that Cuz couldn't make. This was this when I started pastoring. I started Boom. This was in Pensacola. So 2018. This was still the Truth Tour in Pensacola. This is some of the brothers that was with Boom. This is another one, Akron, Ohio. This was in 2017. Wow. We were traveling, we were teaching. It started out, we started out with we're not Hamites, and then that turned into who we are, and that also moved into the conversation, and that's when we started teaching that we were Israelites.
We are not Hamites. I like that.
Yeah, that was kind of like one of the things. So let's see here. I think that's it for that one. Let me stop sharing. I'm gonna show one more, which is the truth, not the truth, James 1 and 1. So let me see. All here. Right. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have kind of had, because there's a lot of out there. Let me see here. Make sure I get my screen going here.
Here you go.
Okay. So this is from 2018. This right here was Elder Dimitri Milligan. Michael Israel. I think this was the last James 1 and 1. I think that might have been the last one. Well, we might have did one after that one, but this was 2019 was the last one. All right, so this was 2019. This was the bridge. So this one was based on Israelites and Christians coming together to James 1 and 1 bridge to talk about our commonalities and differences, not debating, not arguing, but just talking about commonalities and differences. And it was pretty dope, because after that, Morai Shante, who's a Morai at Jacksonville Assembly, they hosted at their house. They had a 4-bedroom house, and Christians and Israelites were over there. We over there playing cards, laughing, talking about doctrine. You had people in the backyard, people in the garage.
That was like boots to the ground right there, man. They were like, I feel like we was in the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Because
what it sounds like.
Jacksonville, they were there. It's like, man,
yeah,
so many memories. So many memories.
A lot of memories. You had people in the hallways. You might have had 2 Christians, 2 Israelites in the hallway discussing doctrine. And then you walk past them, you had 2 or 3 in the bathroom. You walk past them, you had 2 or 3 down the hall. Then you go out the door in the garage. It's like 6 groups of 4s in the garage. So it's like everybody's talking. People exchange numbers, talking, and it was some people that came over from the community, from the Christian community, into being Israelites. Others they didn't, but some of them identified as being Israelites. But of course, they still kind of stayed in the Christian community. But just to see that this was before the craziness. People could talk, have a conversation, talk theology. It was no urban apologetics community involved in anything that we were doing. This was just a build, right? So you see here, this was a conversation. Apostle Keith Curry on the right, Elder Dimitri Milligan, who's an Israelite on the left, which is, considered one of the elders in the Israelite community out there. They had a build in the conversation. This was actually at the Jewish Christian church that we were that opened the door for us to have James 1-1, which is the last one. They were building and talking doctrine theology. This was a panel discussion that had Jay Lutch, Zadok, Apostle Curry, and Pastor Derek Seiler. So you had 3 Israelites and a Christian pastor. We talking and having conversation. This was at the conference. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, okay. There's another picture of conversation. I think that might be it. Let me jump out of here and go down. So this was the conference. This conference, I think we had about 300.
Wow, look at the crowd.
This conference, yeah, it was
more than 300 because it was more than that.
I'm just kind of giving the average what I can think of because it was big. Like we talking about this one was this. It was so awesome, and then we had immersions of baptisms. Wow. Every time we had the conference, we had baptisms, especially when we got down to Jacksonville at the beach, and that was awesome thing there. But this was it, man. That's even more of the crowd. It was a time being an Israelite that was like, man, we were excited. It was really exciting at that time. Man, going through these photos, get to some of the flyers so you can see who were on these platform, on our platform, that a lot of people don't know. So let me see here. I think
that's why I said this is the foreground, because that's a lot of seed planting throughout this country.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another picture. This is a picture of all of the speakers and all of the artists that were there. That was a part of James 1-1. And you can see them on the screen. I think I got some other pictures of the flyers of who was on there. But you talk some of the big names in our community before people really kind of knew who they were a part of our conferences, man, in our gatherings. So, no, that's not it. That's other picture.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
This is James 1-1 as well. This was at the house, because these are pictures from the house, from Morat Shantae's house, where it was just packed like sardines. So this was going on in the house with everybody that was at the conference. So that's one. That's an image. That's another one there. That's another one that y'all know.
That's the guy from Reaper, right?
Prepper.
Yeah.
Lucas Cameron. Yeah.
Prepper.
That he was a speaker there at our conference in 2018 and I think 2019. I remember Lucas being nervous because that was his first time speaking in front of Israelites, like at a whole, a conference that he mostly was doing this thing on YouTube. And this is from the conference as well. Let me see here. That's Elder Eric. He's one of the elders in the Atlanta assembly. He wasn't Elder Eric at the time. He was, yes, he was. I'm sorry, that's 2019. Okay, that's Zadok, and this was at the conference. His brother Philip. Okay, so this was the second year of Boom. Okay, let me see what else we got here before we jump off. Okay, This was conference. Okay. So here, this is some of the brothers and sisters as well. That was some of the performers actually. Some of the performers and some performers and some, but it's mostly made up of performers, and I think maybe one or two speakers.
I hope these pictures.
Oh, that's Cuz right there. That's Pastor Kelly right there. I think it was his time to speak. I don't know if everybody can see, but that was his.
I see him right there in the middle.
Yeah, that was his time. He was the main speaker. I think that might have been Friday night. I think he might have been the main speaker that night. We had speakers that opened up before him, and I think he was the main speaker. I think Friday night. Yeah, that's some other photos of Pastor Kelly. James, man, listen, man, because I don't know if you want to say anything, you want to jump in here, but that was James 1-1, man. It was a time, man. I tell you, it's time to be an Israelite. That's another side angle view.
Well, I put the people who are watching this, Bishop, because a lot of people is there out there say, well, I'm here and I don't have a fellowship here. I don't have an assembly here. And some people are just new into this, just coming here into this awakening. But to know that there's a lot of people out there who are with you. There's a lot of Israelites out there. You haven't been aware of it now. And that's what we're doing with this awakening. There's people all over. And this was back in what, 2019?
Yeah, 2018, 2019. Actually, I think we did the Truth Tour, and then we did the James 1-1. I think James 1-1 might have been 2017.
2017,
yeah. 2017, 2018, 2019. So we had what people would consider a mega conference from 2017. Well, the first one was in Richmond, which was packed out. And then people got wind of it because at first, when we first did the first one, we just kind of put it out there. And then people who can make it, even though we still packed it out, but the response, so many people like, yo, when was this? Where was this? And how does it? What was it like? And so many people was so excited and wanted to come. We end up moving it to Jacksonville. And then, because our goal was to kind of take it around. So that's why we went from Virginia starting to Jacksonville. We did Jacksonville a second year, and we were supposed to do it, move it to somewhere else. I think Atlanta, the fourth year.
Because then we did the Nehemiah.
Yeah, we did Nehemiah. Yep. I wonder if I got some images from that.
And matter of fact, here's a footage I just found.
Oh, you got some stuff?
Hold on, cuz real quick. I got a couple more photos real quick. This last photo, this is Dana Stevens. So we had Lucas Cameron and Dana Stevens speaking on our platform back in 2018 and 2019. And let's see here. That was Dana. These are Dana photos. And so these were some of the vendors. Fair. Yeah, these were vendors. That's Pastor Kelly again.
You see Minister Bruce there.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. So let me jump out of here so Cuz can share what he have. But yeah, man, that's it. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Brother, I love seeing my people. I'll bring your screen up, Pastor.
And one of the things that Cuz is trying to be modest about is when I have to show him how to blow his shofar.
Man, don't start that.
Over at Sister Shantae house, Maurice Shantae house, it was I got asked to blow a shofar, show.
You gotta have those lips just right.
Oh my gosh, man. No, you can, no matter how right your lips would. That man, we just had a lot of great times, nothing but great times. Yeah. But let me show you this quick footage here.
I'm gonna bring it big.
Just the introduction here. Here it is. All right, let's see here. All right, now
that's passive reconciliation.
Let me see here. Yeah, this is James 1-1. Let me see here.
There we go. To get the sound.
Man, it was so exciting, man.
You have sound?
Can you hear it?
No, we can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it? Let me do it again here. Yeah, I'll just, but let me see if I could play the sound. If not, the point was just to kind of show, like some footage from the first one. And I was trying to find the one when the first night. This is actually the Shabbat, the Shabbat morning, but the night Bishop Brown had performed and so forth. Let me see if I can do this here now. I have another set of videos that I found. I'm trying to go through it here, but this is one where we were in front of the congregation here. Let me see here.
Wow. And you guys went up and down the countryside on your own dime, not charging anything for these conferences, but having these arenas full of people and spreading the news of who we are, this awakening.
Yep.
Wow.
Let's see here.
That's amazing.
Man, I got the one from the first conference we did down your way, cuz with Pastor Jerry Carr as well, because he was very instrumental as well with everything. With things getting started. He's up in Massachusetts. But let me see here. This is the Nehemiah, I believe. Let me make sure. I was trying to find you, cuz. Let me see here. Actually, let me see here. Can you guys hear that?
No, we can't hear it.
No, we don't hear anything.
Oh, you can't see anything too, right?
Right. No, can't see it. You can hear it.
Again. All right, let me try one more time. All right, here we go. All right. Can you see my screen now?
It's popping up now.
All right. So I was trying to find, let me see if this is it.
I can hear it.
But I made you.
Now that's Pastor Jerry Carr. It was Bishop Brown, myself, and him. But it was me and Bishop Brown. I was actually like going up and down the coast. But he was there at the beginning when we started playing.
The alkaline of the earth.
Let's see. I'm trying to find.
Let things out of your mouth.
Let me grab Bishop's one again. I had it here. Didn't realize it had me going back into the milk crates. I was trying to find it.
Oh man, the memories is just.
And that one's where you were located there.
That one was in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
Atlanta, okay.
I think I got some photos of who, because we had
Okay, this is Virginia.
No, this is Virginia, and I'll just fast forward here real quick. And this is just having a great time. I mean, what was blessed about this is, we had people coming from all around. I mean, people literally drove. Remember from Texas, drove from Texas, stopped through Atlanta picking people up. And I don't have the pictures of when the first gathering when we were. Remember, because we was in the family room.
Yep.
After the first night, it was all of us inside the family rooms, all up on the steps and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just having a great time. But it was one I want to show you real quick.
Yeah, because whenever you get, I do have some photos from Nehemiah if you want me to show some.
Okay, I was going to show one more.
Okay.
To show some of the things that we were doing.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to say a thank you, a special thank you to an elder out in California for your super chat. Thank you for your support. Blessings to you. And for those of you who are coming on and sharing and liking this, we are glorifying the work of these two forerunners of this movement, and some of the things they did out of their own, like I said, out of their own heart, just motivated to see more people awakening to the truth of who we are. Going around saying, "Wake up, Yasharal." So,
yeah, I don't want to prolong the time because you could go ahead and show some footage. I thought I had some footage of when you and I had the desk and at the altar.
Okay.
When we were just set up there. I was looking for some of. I had that footage, but I can't remember what folder. But if you want to show some of the Nehemiah stuff, that's great. I thought I had it here.
Let me see.
I'll look for your back office.
All right. Let me see here. Can you see?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Okay.
So this is the Nehemiah conference. I see the first photo. Is Pastor Kelly. He was teaching at Nehemiah here in Atlanta. So that's the first photo.
Teaching the language.
Yeah. That was 2018. This was my turn. I think I was speaking as well. And then the next photo is that's Pastor Seiler, who was speaking, and Ron Divine Prospect, Ron Shields was speaking as well. Let me see here. Trying to find, but that's Morris Williams from Rebirth was speaking. Who else? Elder Kevin Waters, he was speaking as well. He spoke, I think he spoke at 2 or 3 of our gatherings.
Yeah, yeah. I think a couple of times when we went out to Ohio.
Mm-hmm. As Pastor Jerry, he was speaking. And you know what, man, Pastor Jerry at that time, because he was teaching from a ancient, he was speaking from the ancient perspective, but he was also equating it with our health. And
yeah.
And man, I was thinking about that the other day. I forgot who I was talking to, and I was telling them about back then, people didn't really understand like the level of what he was saying about, okay, you keep Torah, you eat kosher, those type of things, keep clean, or keep the dietary, but what about your like exercising, like, that type of stuff. And back then people didn't understand, like, what is he talking about, man, all that. But now fast forward, years later, I'm like, man, Cuz was on it. Like he was on it back then, and a lot of people wouldn't deal with what they was dealing with, even in the awakening, health wise. If they heard this message, they were like, yo, man, this message before its time, Yeah, so that was another one. This was other photos. This Pastor Kelly, myself, Ron Shields. Yeah, this is another photo of us as well back then. So I just wanted to show a couple of these photos from Nehemiah. But
I love it.
Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. But yep, that's it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Man, this is. I'm gonna share this real quick here. Can you see my? And I think you remember this, cuz. That was the way. Let me. I'm just skimming through it so you can get the idea of how we had to set up. Questions,
They told on themselves. It's called Pastor.
Where is it?
That's below this whole city because.
You see how we had to just. I thought I had the picture. Let me see the video. There it is. So you see how we had took my desk and put it at the front. There we go.
Yes, the thing is, when you started looking, I see a lot of people protest for freedom and rights and protest for justice. But the thing is, we fail to realize that the systems that they have in place, the laws that they have in place, none of these things they had you in mind. That's right. During the time they were passing these things, you were still slaves. So they didn't have, in most of the slave owners were people who were contributing to the laws. So what we have to do is we'll accept the laws in the land, but yet we'll reject God's law. And so the thing is, when I began to look at it, I said, man, they systematic, then they made you think that you was free, while implementing another system, a form of legalized slavery, which is the prison system. So you're supposed to be in the system of corrections, which it makes you worse than before you went in.
So yeah, that was just one of the videos I came across.
Yeah, that was I could hear the crackle in my voice because we probably was up to 5 o'clock and had to be in service by 10.
Yeah. We was putting in the work, and you know, family. One of the things that, and I know we didn't really go into the details of it, but just to touch on it, Bishop touched on it a little, is that, you know, the DNA conversations. We were at the forefront of the DNA conversations,
right?
Because we were putting in a lot of work. And then all of a sudden the question was, well, prove that you guys are connected to Israel. Let us see your DNA. Take a DNA test. We weren't looking to do a DNA test. So we took not one, we took multiple, right? And then that's when the goalposts began to move even from then. And so it was just so much. During that time, as Bishop pointed out, it was great. It was like if something happened, right? Let's just say someone from the church pulled out some crazy doctrine trying to target us. The word to get around, Bishop, myself, Hebrew Nation, and some of the others, we're like, all right, we're going to drop a video. Each one of us go drop a video. We start strategizing collectively on how we were going to respond.
Wow.
And that's what Bishop is referring to about that time. It was not like how it is today, where everyone trying to do their own thing, trying to undercut, you know, at that time, whether you agree with the person and everything that they taught or not, we understood the bigger picture. You know, it wasn't, we were not arguing about what name should I use or you using this name. It was none of that among us. So again, it was like, you know, that's how we got into dealing with the apologetic community, because of they thought that they had us caught up with the DNA, and we proved it wrong. But then at the same time, some of the things we walked out together was going down to Savannah. And that was like a major thing, because when we went to Savannah, and that just hit the radar pretty hard. So we was at the forefront of so many different, I would say, hot topics. But then at the same time, while we were doing James 1, I mean, just going up and down the coast, you had Pastor Darby and those guys. They were doing their tour, which we didn't even know that they were doing one.
I think Darby them did their tour after us, though.
Yeah, they did theirs after us.
All that stuff came afterwards.
Yeah. You know, and ended up landing in when we did to North Carolina. So
wow,
we were putting in, when I say we were putting in the work, we were putting in the work. So many people, and again, for those that don't know, we were right there at those arguments, you know. And at that time, you know, Bishop would say, "Hey, we drove up to Philly," you know what I mean, with some of the bishops, just to show that, hey, you know, we're good. We can sit down and have a articulate conversation, and we can support whatever you do, and vice versa, with no hard feelings. But we were putting in work like that we really didn't do a lot of talking. We didn't really put a lot of I would say shine a spotlight on, because we weren't trying to make it all about us, even though many naysayers was trying to make it about us. They were trying to box us in, but we were the ones that in the beginning was fighting for them to say, no, you're not going to label us moderates. They were trying to put a label on us and couldn't put a label on us. And we was right there in the trenches giving so much pushback to say, you cannot box us in with any groups, you know, and don't create a label so now you can use that as a straw man to argue against.
Right. Homogenize the group. They're one big entity.
Yeah. So I just want to share that just to give more context, because I know we kind of, you know, how we are. We don't like to brag on ourselves and not like that because, you know, or sound like we're bragging on ourselves. But I just want to make sure you guys understand there's a lot of work that was being put into it. You know what I mean? And again, there were times where, you know, literally, you know, falling asleep, frozen in time on his keyboard at 3 a.m. after we up all night, 3 a.m, you know, and just right at literally frozen in time, so to speak, while in motion with the mouse.
Yep.
And our wives, I thank the Most High for our families, because our families sacrifice so much as well, and giving us the, you know, really the support to do those things.
Wow. Yeah. No, I definitely would say so. Like, I guess it's probably been 4 years ago since we were kind of like in a major fight with a lot of different things. What cause it moved from the identity to DNA to the pews and all those other things. Prior to that, we had been in so many fights. Like,
yeah.
By the time these folks rolled around, like, man, I was like, I ain't fighting with y'all no more. Like, especially not with these new folks. Most of the people that we were fighting theologically or something like that, they were mature. They were like, and what I mean fighting is that, you know, like, because we're talking about defending our perspective of who we are as Israel with the church. But when it came down to dealing with, you know, those communities and things like that, it became we had already been fighting. So it's like go get your DNA was kind of the last straw. Like, okay, all right, cool. Once we do that, that's kind of a wrap. Other than that, then these you know, new jokers come on the scene that I would say per se didn't have any establishment of anybody recognition. They weren't pastors or anything like that. They were just internet folks. It's like, man, it was a lot going on. There's a lot of time that we had already put in prior to that. So it's like by that time we elders, seniors, and, you know, as they say, you know, old dogs, if you want to say that, you know, and that type of thing, you know. But wise, we're calculated. We learned from the earlier fights on how to channel our energy and what we need to deal with and how we should approach things. So people can, you know, and nowadays people look at it as you know, oh, you know, coward, you need to do this, do it. So we learned through wisdom when to address things, when to waste our time, and when to give energy to certain things, and strategically how to do those certain things. So I just want to share that as well and add to the later on things. And we kind of allow, you know, other young cats to fight certain fights, and we kind of, like, you know, we don't have to fight. We already put in work years before, and, you know, being pastors and established in other congregations, it's just certain lines we weren't going to get into because of the fact we had already done a lot of fighting in the previous years and establishing and going up and down the road and doing a lot of work and dealing with people and behind the scenes with issues and those things. Just a lot had been put into it that kind of drained us and gave us the experience that we had. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there too.
So y'all ministry going up and down this thing, you say was before Pastor Darby and what's this
Omar
Tubal?
Yeah, it was before that. So
what we know, and this now, I'm just learning this now, is what we're experiencing now is a backlash that I think y'all was coming for afterwards of the apologetics and all that, because a lot of people, y'all was sitting down talking to other Christians, and people are coming to the realization, hey, we're Israelite. I am Israelite. I am part of Judah. And they were coming out of these institutions. So they said, wait a minute, we're losing a lot of people. We got to stop this. People are waking up now.
Yeah.
Would you say so?
Yeah, I would say for us, I mean, we weren't, of course, we didn't tally up how many people were coming out. We just know for us, the people that we talked to and that we either dealt with on certain things, but maybe for other people on that side of the community, they knew far more, of what we were doing And even though we did have conversations, backdoor conversation that was very cordial, in the sense it was other groups that were not pastors like those other pastors. And so when you get pastors together, whether they're Christians or not, even when you see with the James 1:1 and things like that, where pastors will come, there was a level of conversation of cordial understanding that, okay, yeah, we may not believe the same thing, but we can be respectful and we can be cordial and have a dialogue and conversation and hear each other out versus it being, beyond Thunderdome, and that type of thing, so that's kind of where it was. And I've even had pastors. I've had pastors that are Christian pastors, some white and black, where they had members whose spouse came into the awakening. They referred the spouse who's not in the awakening to me.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
They referred to spouse?
They referred the spouse because the spouse had concerns about their spouse who came into the awakening.
Oh.
They didn't understand what was going on. And when they start doing research themselves, of course, the first people who pop up is the camps. So they were concerned about those things. So what they would do was they referred, because I had relationship with these pastors, they referred the spouse of concern to contact me. And I would talk to them and find out, okay, what is he or she believes. Knowing that whatever they believe, I being in the community long enough, I can kind of pin down what camp they follow or listen to and those type of things. And I gave them a level of comfort by dealing with talking to both parties, right? Sitting down, talking to both parties, removing the fear through conversation, give them a different view perspective from the other, because we're not a monolith in our community.
Right.
We all don't believe the same. We're all not the same. We all don't dress the same. We all don't act the same. So they were able to see another side. 100 out of 100 times, those spouses of concern who was referred came into the awakening.
Hallelujah.
Not only that, but that family wanted to transition to become a part of Boom. And I told that couple to talk to their pastor, because that pastor is an honorable person by even referring.
Right.
And told that family, if you're not going to be here, I know that you'll be in good hands with Bishop Brown and Boom.
Right.
Because the concern of the pastor was, I just don't want them to leave Mashiach. HaMashiach. I didn't want them to leave. So if they're not going to be here, at least I know that Boom is going to make sure they're still in Messiah. And that's how it was. That's the work behind the scenes. And Cuz get a lot of people contact him behind the scenes too, where he has to encourage and deal with a lot of things because people are hurt. They're going through different things. People in our community get hurt. As pastors, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people in our community that's on YouTube, they don't know the pains and the hurts that people go through. People smile and you see them, they come on YouTube, they'll come to the feast day and they hurt and they dealing with stuff behind the scenes. And the Most High have used us through the tour of experience, being in these conferences, of being able to pastor and nurture people and help people through those situations. So there's been a lot of beautiful things that come out of this, regardless of how people have come at us. The bigger picture was, fine, you can say what you want to say about us. It's not going to stop us from doing the work. It's not going to hinder us, because before we met you, before you even knew about us, we were already doing the work before. So it's not going to stop. We've already got shot at, not literally, but we've already been shot at behind the scene. We already got daggers thrown at us. So by the time you come on the scene, our skin is tough. Like, we ain't worried about that foolishness, but it's not going to stop us from doing and continuing to work. And through those issues and through those confrontations, all it has done is built the ministry more.
Wow.
Even people from the other side have researched us, and they were on that side with them, and all of a sudden they're on this side being a member of the ministry. Not because we lured them, it's simply because if it wasn't for them over there telling the people about us over here, those people might have not even found out about who we were. But the Most High used them to speak against us, even though they thought it would be detrimentally, it still worked out in our favor. So we
you saying what was meant for evil, the Most High.
There you go.
Wow. And one thing in Jeremiah 3, he said that he would give us shepherds. He would give a shepherd after his own heart. And you guys, when people say pastors, most people see the people up front with mics. But a true pastor is a person who cares for people, who builds people. And what you guys was doing in these conferences on your own dime and on your own time was caring for people. Because you knew that we all been lost, we've been abused, we were in institutions not knowing the truth, and you went around spreading, hey, we are somebody. There's something special about you people. There's something special about you, Judah.
And before Pastor Preacher, I'm gonna let you say something, but I want to say some special shout out to another super chat. Thank you, Sister Jordan. Thank you for your super chat. Again, I want to thank you for being a part of what we're doing. We're gonna also remind with Elder out in California. Thank you for your super chat. And for everyone who's on this, each one of you, thank you for what you're doing. And I'm glad you're here to hear about these founders of this awakening. Now, sometimes you don't mention this, Pastor, Bishop, and Pastor. I'm going to share this one thing. You guys not only toured up and down the country, but you was doing film and TV too. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think I got let me see that. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, there's a video called "Reclaiming the Throne." I think I put it up on the throne. I'm on the screen right here. If you have Tubi, you can see it. I'm not gonna play it but you can see. Let me see. Get to that point. Yeah, here it is. Ask that Bishop Brown. And I think at this point, I remember that in Pastor Kelly. So they're preaching the truth everywhere they can, and they're the commercial. So, but if you guys that have not seen this, Reclaiming the Throne, go check it out. Go check it out. Now, Pastor Kelly.
I'm sorry, just breaking up on my end.
I was giving you the floor.
I just want to say, really appreciate this discussion here, and just showing the people that we all have a starting point, because that's the overall point that I just want to make sure everyone understands, is that even in that Black Lives Matter speech, you can hear where I've grown from then to where I am now. You'll hear me say, Yahashua HaMashiach. You will hear me say that I am a Hebrew Israelite Christian pastor. And I'm not throwing any slights at anyone, but I'm just wanting to share that we all have a starting point. My starting point may not be your starting point. And don't assume that because you see where we are right now, that we did not have to go through levels of repentance, because we repented to our assembly, that, hey, we didn't teach everything as accurate as we should have, even though the Most High know our circumstances, but certain, just certain things that many people just don't understand and know. And some of the battles that we had to deal with internally, early on, a lot of this stuff, we're not even talking about it because it's we well past it, but there's a lot that come with the territory. But I want to make sure you guys understand the key point, as Bishop said, he was an evangelist. You know what I mean? And if you listen to him 10 years ago versus today, you'll hear certain perspectives adjusted. That comes with the territory, family. None of us know everything, right? None of us have everything covered, you know, but the key is coming together like we're doing and like we've done. We were able to sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron. You know, I kept him from getting caught out there with that ammonia and stuff like that. And
ammonia.
This
is inside.
That's inside joke.
On the road to understand this stuff, right? Man. Throwing this crazy stuff out here. Oh man. I think froze up, man.
Well, before he froze up, I can hear him giggling back to the background. Okay. But before we leave, guys, I want you to give it. I'm glad you brought it up, Pastor Kelly, because people out here, like I said, when you come in, we're coming into this thing different places. We're coming from different places and with different hangups. If people who are going to be watching this again on the replay, give them some encouragement about this awakening and find out who they are and find out their place in being a part of this awakening. With Pastor Kelly, you start.
Well, with anything, you're going to have your good and your bad. You know what I mean? You're going to, no matter where you are, you're going to have those bad apples. When we was in the church, you had bad apples. Right?
Yes.
Being outside the church, you got bad apples. No matter where you are. So just take it from a perspective of so many people trying to figure this out too.
Yes.
And just don't get caught up in a lot of the chit chatter. Right now, you're in a place now, you have to know what you know. Yes. Because now you have, 10, 15 years ago was just one platform. So I would say one angle. Now with the awakening expanded the way that it did, now even coming out into this awakening, there's so many layers of different doctrines, kind of like the same problems that you have in the church, but it's worse. And the reason why I would say it's worse, because there's no filters. A lot of people are unfiltered. A lot of people don't have any a foundation up underneath them. So a lot of doctrines that wouldn't fly in the church are now flying here in this awakening. I just got to be real with it. Certain behaviors that will get checked in church. And I'm not saying that the church is perfect. We already know that. Church has all kinds of issues. But certain things, there was a baseline. And one of the baselines was protocol that I don't regret on how we address one another, how we respect one another. Doesn't mean when I say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, or yes, sir, no, sir, it's not predicated on your age. It's predicated on, just understanding protocol and also the titles and the functions of what others are operating in, like what Bishop is operating in. And we've received a lot of, issues because of how people approached us, and not just approaching this awakening that, okay, now that you come into this awakening let's just say from the church, now you don't have to have any boundaries. Now you can be disrespectful. You can do the things that you would not do in other spaces. So for those individuals, I would just say, stay connected or get connected if you can. This is going to make some people mad when I say this, right? If you are in the church and you want to connect, but there's no way of no connections for you, stay where you are until you able to make that transition. Don't jump out of there into this awakening. And now especially if you have a family and now they're not getting fed from no angle. They're not getting, even the fellowship of accountability. Stay where you are until, if the Most High call you to start up something, to do that. Or if you can connect to a ministry that is doing that, do that. But don't just jump from there and then now you take your family, you're just sitting at home. Because you're going to create more problems. You're going to create development issues with your children, especially if they're underage. So that's all I have to say when it comes to that. My biggest thing is, just focus on the Most High and just be careful of eating from so many different tables. because that's one of the things we see at an all-time high. People jumping from this channel, this channel, this channel, this channel. And, you know, and then by the time they get, let's just say, come to Bishop or myself, now we got to take off all those layers.
Yeah.
So don't be so excited to eat from or glean from all these different channels. Stay grounded, stay encouraged. I yield.
Hallelujah. Bishop Brown?
No, I agree everything with what Pastor Kelly said. I think that's I mean I can't add to the meal. I think it's just everything that he said is very important to your development and to where you're going and where you're trying to go. So I just want to tell you, stay encouraged. What are you looking
Hey,
you gonna say everybody? Say something.
Yeah, say hallelujah. Say shalom.
Say shalom.
Now that's the one that really run the house right there.
Oh, you gonna say something?
That's the one that run the house right there.
Come on, little man.
Say hallelujah.
And he got big.
Say hallelujah.
Yeah, big smile.
You gonna say it? All right, then. Say everybody bye-bye.
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 All right, man.
Baby
remember he used
Bishop.
to scream out the hallelujah. Remember we used to do the hallelujah. Remember how he would
Yeah,
Wow.
that's Elder Eric from Boom Atlanta. He in the comment section saying Baby Bishop. That's his nickname. That's his nickname, Baby Bishop. Hallelujah.
Man, I'm so
Thanks
glad
again,
y'all
Berean
came
Scholar.
on.
Really appreciate this.
Well, I'm so glad you came on. I'm so glad y'all shared this because I give props to you guys because me coming into this, as like I said, as a recovering pastor, because I heard a lot of things out there, but I didn't hear a lot of stability. When I got a chance to hear some people who was at least actually speaking from the scriptures, you know, of course I cling to it and reached out to certain people. And thankful certain people didn't reach back to me. And then first I hooked up with you, Pastor Kelly, then got introduced to Bishop Brown and to Benaiah. But it made a difference to see some, like you said, people who had some standards, had protocols, and did things the right way. So I honor and I thank the Most High for your ministry and what you're doing, and that the fruit that you see from your ministry go on and on and on.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So much, Pastor Darrell.
Well, guys, I'm glad everybody got a chance to hear this. Those of you who are listening this on the replay, please put your comments below, like and share this. And we're gonna leave you with one saying. I'm gonna let you give your comment saying, Pastor. But I want to make sure that each one of you know that if you have not know we talked about this awakening, there's plenty of stuff on the channel that you can find out. In fact, at the end of this video, click one of those videos. It will show you some information that will show you who you are in the Most High. That you are special. You are the apple of His eye. Pastor Kelly, give us your farewell.
Just want to say, according to Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, the Most High gave Moses these encouraging words, because at that time Israel was at what seemed to be a dead end, and they began to panic. And the Most High had to reassure them with these encouraging words: "Fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today will not have power over you ever again. The Most High will fight for you." But here's the kicker, everyone: we have to hold our peace. Yes. And the Hebrew word in that text is not shalom. Some of you guys would say shalom, but the actual word is karash. It means be quiet, calculated silence. Can't go back, can't stay here, keep moving forward. Shalom.
Shalom, Yasharal.
have I known of all the families of the earth? I called you by your name. I knew you from your birth. Though nations scattered you and spoiled what I gave, I saw every tear you cried, and I heard you when you prayed. Do not think I forgot you. Do not think I turned away. Though correction came upon you, my covenant still remains. You are the apple of my eye, Yasharal, my chosen bride. Whoever touches you, touches me. I will rise and set you free. Come and hide beneath my wings. I am your shield, your king. You are precious in my sight. Yasharal, oh, the apple of my eye. Oh, hey. After the glory I sent my word unto the nations that spoiled you. They thought your name was buried, but I preserved the remnant true. They mocked you in your chains. They laughed while you were low, but I measured every wound, and I watched your sorrow grow. Now awaken from your slumber, return unto my way. Remember who you are, my son. Remember and obey. You are the apple of my eye, Yasharal, my chosen bride. Whoever touches you, touches me. I will rise and set you free. Come and hide beneath my wings. I am your shield, your king. You are precious in my sight. Yasharal, the apple of my eye. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. Bring me back beneath your covenant. Teach my heart again to sing. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Let your mercy cover me. Yahweh, I return to you. Through Yahweh, set me free. I did not choose you for perfection. I chose you for my name. I refined you through affliction, but my promise stayed the same. I will gather what was scattered. I will heal what has been torn. I will breathe upon dry bones, and my people shall be reborn. You are the apple of my eye. Ooh, Yasharal, my chosen bride. Whoever touches you, touches me. I will rise and set the free. Come and hide beneath my wings. I am your shield, your king. You are precious in my sight. Yasharal, oh, the apple of my eye. You only have I known of all the earth below. Yasharal, return to me. My love will bring you home.
What do you think about this topic? Remember to be a Berean Scholar, as it is written in the book of Acts 17 verses 11 to 12. Now the Bereans were more noble-minded than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if these teachings were true. It's time to deepen your understanding and see your reflection within the sacred pages. Please like, click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with the Berean Scholar channel.